I'm Rahman Johnson, and this is the news at 5. Now, I'm holding in my hand a report that was released from the TPD. It's a look at the timeline of the case and what happened hour by hour. Here's what we know so far. December 7th, supporters of the constitutional amendment to legalize medical marijuana in Florida say they've got the signatures to get the measure on the ballot. More on our top story. And Jade, you've been talking to people throughout the area. What are they saying as a reaction? Tonight, a South Georgia couple is doing okay after they just barely escaped a falling tree. Jade Balexa spoke with the family. A minister and a homeless advocate went undercover at the facility just days ago and was allegedly propositioned by center staff. And she says that's only the beginning. Local homeless activist Renee Miller had heard complaints from local homeless men and women alleging abuses of power at the shelter. It's a local residential facility for the homeless, from not allowing men and women to bring their own blankets to throwing away their belongings. The allegations were coming from different people far too often.
It just didn't match up with experiences that I had when I went to the shelter and had interactions with staff.
But on Sunday, February 10th, Miller took matters into her own hands. She put on a red wig and went undercover to see if what they were saying was true. And what Miller discovered horrified her.
The shelter staff opened the door and looked at her and said, "You're past curfew, so you're not staying." Didn't let her in, and I thought, oh no, he's not going to let me stay. And then he said, "You come with me."
According to Miller, the staff member then allegedly propositioned her and invited her home with him.
"It's going to be much better for you if you just come home with me."
By the end of the night, she says he came to check in on her 4 times, reminding her not to discuss the arrangement and to be ready when his shift ended. A former shelter resident says that things like this are not uncommon, but no one wants to speak up.
And not wanting to speak out because they're afraid people are going to treat them differently once they check in at night.
When City Commissioner Andrew Gillum got wind of the allegations, he immediately posted a statement on his Facebook page and called for an investigation with the city manager's office.
When I read the very, very unfortunate account of what Renee experienced in this situation, it reaches at all of our heartstrings.
Commissioner Gillum worked with the Leon County Sheriff's Office to ensure that there were officers on site for the entire weekend and to be on the lookout and take statements if needed.
The biggest concern is making sure that we are continuing to provide safe, accessible homeless services in our community.
Now, there is no timetable as to when the investigation will finish, but for now, the accused employee has been placed on administrative leave.
I don't want their money. I also don't want them to be defunded or unsupported.
Miller said the reason that she did this is so in some small way that she could help the homeless of Tallahassee. Now, I'm here live with Mel Eby. He's the agency executive director or agency director of the homeless shelter. Tell me, hearing these allegations and knowing how hard you've worked for the past 25 years, number one, how does it make you feel? At tonight's school board meeting, school board administrators and parents, as well as teachers, are cheering the school board decision to pass a large-scale bond issue that could change education in Leon County. In November of last year, the Leon County School Board was excited that voters had adopted a half-cent sales tax to fund school-related projects.
We passed that referendum with one of the largest vote totals in the state at almost 70%, and that just shows how everybody can come together and do what's in the best interest of our school system.
But with an annual operating budget of just under $500 million, school district leaders were faced with completing infrastructure projects while continuing to run day-to-day operations. Now, earlier, the school board voted on a proposal to sell bonds that could raise about $75 million. And raising the bonds wouldn't hurt the district, since the bonds will be guaranteed by the tax hike that had already been approved. The president of the local teachers union says that it'll be much needed cash that the school district could use, and a win-win for students and teachers.
Project that would provide permanent classrooms at a campus where teachers are forced to work out of portables would be a priority.
Now, the superintendent says that his team plans to present the board several smaller projects in the next few weeks that they hope will be able to move forward without dollars from the bond issue. According to the financial advisor for the district, they could raise considerably more money, but they also don't want to bite off more than they can chew.
We feel like the $75 million worth of projects to start out with is a good number. We want to make sure we can complete them on time, under budget, and within budget, and to get these projects off the ground as soon as possible.
After the board vote, there could be some movement on new projects as early as November. Now, at tonight's meeting, besides the bond issue, the board also considered a chance for Stars Middle School to be increased to a K-8 academy. Tonight, after speaking for more than a day, one senator's protest is over as he rallied against the start of the Affordable Care Act. And you may be shocked to see how that senator voted. Now, Congress is moving forward to try to stop a government shutdown. We'll have the latest. Plus, one guy takes a page straight out of one of the world's most popular and most violent video games. We'll tell you what he did. It's news from Donnerail, Meadowbrook, and your neighborhood. The news at 5:30 is up next.